Same one here.
Yes, sir.
Cheers to that, man. So Hensley, man, I appreciate you being here on the podcast, man. A little cigar chat at our favorite spot, Stix. So tell me, man. I had a question for you. What sparked your interest in cigars as we get ready to smoke? What are we smoking first? Tell me.
This is the Opex Dubai. It was a limited edition made in Dubai by Opex for the people of Dubai. What they did was they decided to do a limited run over here in the States. It's a fantastic smoke. Even for don't let the price point deter you. They're going for about anywhere from 130 to 160 a stick, but it's a fantastic smoke. Probably one of the better cigars that I've ever.
I love that.
Experienced.
So price point wise, what are we looking at?
About 160 for the Dubai. Again, this is one of the premier ones. It's a limited release.
Okay.
You only printed out so many of them. You can't just walk into any shop and find it.
And find this, okay. Got it. And what type of cut would you do on this?
I'd punch this.
You would punch this?
Based on the flavor and the profile of this, I would punch it just because it's going to give you a lot of nuances in the flavor. So you don't want to get, you don't want to dilute it.
I understand that. So I think I'm going to punch mine as well because I have never smoked a cigar over probably $30. So when I know how much this one costs, I'm like, let me do it right. So
actually, you did.
Which one?
The rare pink.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. So how do you?
Let me
see you do it first.
You're gonna take it. You'll put it in the end here.
Yep.
Do a little twist action.
Okay.
And then pull out.
Wow, look at that.
And all you have to do is just to get rid of it. So just twist it the other way.
The other way. Okay. There we go. Oh, right here. All right, guys. First time doing this, so let's do it. So you don't twist this; you twist the actual cigar.
Yes.
Okay. And is there a reason for that, or is that just your method?
It's typically when you do the punch tool, you're actually going to do a little bit more damage to the cigar.
Okay, got it.
Because you're putting more pressure that way.
Okay,
at least with the cigar, you're using the cigar to do the pressure.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, what sparked your interest in cigars? How long you been smoking?
It's about 25 years now. I started in college.
Okay.
I started smoking, believe it or not, Indian cigars, the beaties.
Oh yeah.
And
I remember those.
I went from those to, hey, let me try a real cigar. So the first cigar that I got was a Monte Cristo white label.
Okay.
And I went to like a local corner store and purchased the Monte Cristo white label from there.
Okay.
And smoked it, and I enjoyed it. So it started off as hey, I'm on vacation, I'm just getting away, going out, hanging out with the fellas type thing to, as I got older, I picked it up more frequently.
Right. These are super powerful.
So that's not what to do when you light a cigar.
You see, I'm doing it wrong. Teach me, master. So I see you doing it nice and slow.
Right. You want to toast a cigar. Cigar is going to be, it's one of those things where if you're burning the tip of it, you're going to get an acrid taste. So it's almost like burning your food. So here, use this one. This is a little wider of a flame.
Man, I love all these lighters that you have. Everything's gold, man.
Yeah, just keep it pressed.
Oh, I see that. Just that back and forth movement makes a difference, man.
Right.
It's
So
like
when you toast it, it's kind of like, sometimes you want to take your time. You don't want to rush baking something.
Right.
Because you're going to dry it out, and you'll see that you'll get a different flavor when you use the right lighter. So there's nothing wrong with using the house lighter if it's at the right flame temperature, but taking your time to toast the lighter this cigar is going to give you the best optimization out of your cigar.
Love that. So I know often you'll invite people to join you here for cigars. I think you're going to be doing something soon. You've done things in the past where you invite people out and you supply cigars and maybe do a pairing or tasting. Tell me why you started doing that.
Cigar is a culture. It's a way to meet people. And I think the more people know, the more people enjoy it. So,
Absolutely.
You know, doing a pairing event where, you know, we take a whiskey like Centauri and mix it with a great cigar.
Yeah.
People will enjoy that and they'll come back for more. And a place like Stix, where I've been a member starting in the Rahway location. This is year 6 of my membership with Stix.
Nice.
I've been here for 2 years. I actually live closer to this location.
Right.
I still go to Rahway at least once a week.
Okay.
Because that is home base.
Got it.
But you know, it's the camaraderie. You know, I'm not from this area.
Okay.
I've made a lot of friends. You know, just in the culture and a lot of interesting people.
Love that. Love that. So for you, it's all about gathering people, getting to meet like-minded people, sharing your love of different liquors, love of cigars, and just, I love that. I love that. Tell me about like one of the most memorable experiences from doing one of your gatherings, maybe a special cigar you gave or people's reaction to a special cigar you gave out.
Yeah, so we, so of course when we do events here at Stix, the owner, Dan, is a great guy. He,
For sure.
he provides a cigar, but what I try to do is I try to provide something that may be a little bit harder to get.
Okay.
We had most companies, when they have a stick that doesn't meet production standards, they label it as a number 2.
Okay.
So it's almost like an ooze.
Got it.
So we had a Padron Diplomatico number 2, and nobody had ever had it.
Gotcha.
So I had made a trip to DR and I got my hands on some, and I brought them back, and the guys loved it. Just like, oh, this is great. And
Yeah,
we
it's a nice
paired
treat.
it. We paired it with a Indian whiskey called Sangam.
Never had an Indian whiskey.
Yeah.
Sangam.
So it was very
Okay.
smoky and
Okay.
and it had good flavor. So this was an experience, and this kind of what got the ball rolling for quarterly doing those type of pairing events.
I hear that. I hear
And
that.
we mimicked it after there are cigar lounges over in England
Okay.
that do these quarterly pairing events.
I
So we
like that,
mimicked
man.
it after that.
Well, hopefully I can get an invite and come out and check out one of your events, man. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this Indian whiskey is really smoky. I'm a big fan of Lafroy, Lagavulin. I mean, to me, it's something about smelling that. You feel like you're sitting by a campfire enjoying a good stick.
Yeah.
Is that what you enjoy about it as well?
Yeah. So I like nuances.
Right.
So as you can see with that cigar, you're getting different flavors, which you don't get out of a normal cigar.
Right.
And when you nuance it, you know, there's people that, you know, I've told, you know, try dipping the tip of your cigar in your whiskey,
Okay.
whatever you're drinking, because
Okay.
you're going to change the profile.
Interesting.
So, you know, it's one of those things where you light it, you dip it in there.
Just a quick dip.
Yep.
Why not? I'm a dip too.
And you notice that you'll see the draw. It's not going to be your cigar's not moist, but you get a different
That
flavor.
taste, yeah, that flavor.
sweetness.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like the flavor. I'm a fan of Drew Estates, you know, Fat Bottom Betties. I
Yeah.
like that little sweetness that you
Right.
get on the tip. So that kind of mimics that.
Right. And that's what draws me to, I'm a big Fuente fan. So they're not a flavored cigar, but a lot of the Fuentes have a sweet tip to them.
Gotcha.
So this is what you're getting. It's pulling that extra sweet tip out of this.
So I'm curious. I mean, as I learn more about cigars, and I know when people heard the price point, they're like, what? Why so expensive? Is it just the name of the brand that makes it so expensive? Is it something special about the tobacco?
It's a limited edition. It is an
Okay.
aged tobacco.
Okay. It's retro hell.
So you're at a good point in that too, retro hell.
I'm good.
Blow it out. Push out.
What's that do?
It's kind of heating up the tobacco at the tip without you having a relight. So sometimes when you get a funky little light in there, it'll heat up the tip without overheating the cigar.
So I got a question. I know it's a very elementary question. Sometimes when see how it's burning uneven?
Canoeing. So that's your
It's
light.
called canoeing.
Yeah, that's your light.
Okay.
So again, when you take your time to toast it, you're gonna get more of an even light
Even
on
light.
it, so it'll light up.
Is there a way to correct that?
Yeah.
How would you correct that?
Again, you would take a soft flame,
Okay.
and as you can see,
I'm learning, guys.
this side is darker
Yeah.
than that side, so that's where you got the uneven burn at.
And that's a special type of lighter you buy?
No, it's just a soft flame lighter.
Soft flame.
So, you know, you have the strong torches, which, again, it's not bad to light, but you kind of have to have good control over it, work the right angles. And if you ever get it to where you start noticing that it's canoeing, you can actually just flip your cigar
Okay.
because it's the way that it's pulling air in.
Got it. Thank you. So I'm learning. That's canoeing, and it's all about how I'm lighting the cigar. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let me ask you, you mentioned that Rahway is your home location. I know that both locations have different personalities. What do you like about Rahway? What do you like about Somerville?
The size of Rahway actually is more conducive to having more of a camaraderie.
Yeah.
No matter where you're sitting at, you're kind of within earshot of having a conversation with somebody.
Right.
Here, you can, if you come in from the front and somebody's sitting in the back, you may not even know that they're in here.
That's right.
So it's one of those things where if somebody's in Rahway, you know that they're in there. You see them come in, you know.
Yeah.
So I like to say Rahway is more like Cheers.
Walk in, hey.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where,
Yeah.
I got usually a standing reservation every Wednesday where I meet up with the same bunch of guys
Nice.
up there, and we have a good time. We'll have a couple drinks and some cigars, and just,
There we go.
Have a good time.
There we go.
I think here it's great environment. You get a similar thing because we have our group of guys that will come. We'll sit in the same section. We'll have 10, 12 guys
Right.
sitting in a section, and we've organically done that. But I think here is more of I don't want to say it's more businessy, but it comes off a little more
Okay.
networking and
Got it.
But still great group of guys in both places.
And I know I come here to work, and I was so amazed because I got here and I had a list of questions for you, and I printed it at home.
Right.
And forgot to grab it off the printer.
Right.
So I was able to hop on the printer here. So the business feel, I hear you on that. I was
Right.
able to print the questions out. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And in Somerville, man, what I love about this location, I don't know Rahway a lot. I like the walkability, the different restaurants. I love the brewery, get
So
coffee.
the beauty of Rahway is Rahway has a very similar makeup.
Oh, okay.
Again, both of them are located on Main Street
Yes.
in the city. There is a brewery down the street in Rahway called Wet Ticket. There's lots of restaurants. There's Cuban restaurant.
There we go.
There's Portuguese restaurant, Italian restaurants, Irish
Okay.
restaurants.
Okay.
So whatever you want in Rahway, you can have. There's a nice little place called the Waiting Room, Irving Social. So for the members here, they do a annual holiday party.
Right.
It alternates between Rahway and Somerville.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of restaurants
Mm-hmm.
that we've done up in Rahway. And
Yeah.
again, Rahway's been open for 7 years now. So
And this location's been what?
2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah, 2 years, working on the third year. It'll be 3 years in November.
I found this place on accident. I was eating at the seafood spot next door, and I walked past, and I saw all these brothers sitting aside. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I didn't come in because I thought it was like an exclusive private club. That's the felt I got from being out on the sidewalk.
Right.
And then one day I was like, let me just go in. And I felt right at home, man. Everybody's like, hey, how you doing? They showed me around.
Yeah.
I had to become a member, man. I love this place. I'm up here every week, maybe 2-3 times a week.
I think membership kind of gives you a sense of ownership in a place. I mean, you don't make the decisions or anything, but this is our place.
Absolutely.
Come to my lounge. So a lot of times
Yes.
when I'm posting on social media, come out, have a cigar with me, it's because I take pride in ownership of being a member of Stix.
Same here.
Want
Same
to
here.
grow the brand.
Same here.
Starting out where, it's one location to now 2. And to see the growth in the members and everything, it's
pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You see the new billboard?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool, man.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, damn, he's doing big
Yeah.
things, man. I'm really excited about all that.
Yeah.
So outside of cigars, talk to me about what are some of your other personal interests and hobbies? What are you into?
Well, cigars kind of flows into my other interests. I've always been
Okay.
a collector since I was a kid.
Okay.
So I started off doing comic books and
Nice.
baseball cards.
Okay.
Then records. So now, my cigar collection is probably 750 cigars. Typically what I do is, like, for something like this, price point wise, I can't buy a whole box, but what I'll do is I'll buy 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I always say 2 to smoke, 1 to keep.
2 to smoke, 1 to keep. Good rule.
So it's one of those things where, I have something in the humidor, it'll sit for a while, and it's something like this, I'll smoke one of these and it'll be another 6 months, before I smoke it if I have an abundance of it.
Gotcha.
But, it's not an everyday smoke. This is, a special occasion like the podcast.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So collecting, comic books. Tell me, what was your favorite comic book?
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
How'd you like the show?
I love the show.
Yeah.
I love the show. It brought things to a full circle for me. And so, I think when Marvel took off, that was an exciting time for me.
Absolutely.
Even though I was older.
Yeah.
It took me back to my childhood. So it was one of those things where I was just like, oh, I'm signing up for Disney Plus. I'm doing all this stuff. Me and my wife, we go to the openings.
Okay.
We were there first day, so we've seen Captain America, or the first day it came out.
Okay,
so,
the new one.
Yeah.
How was it with Anthony Mackie?
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it.
Cool.
And it was one of those things. I think that Marvel's thoughtful. They brought it out Black History Month without spoiling it. It has subtle nods to the Black history of comics.
Got it. Okay. So Luke Cage. I grew up an X-Men fan. I love Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
That's my wife's favorite.
Okay.
Wolverine, yeah.
And I like Daredevil, and I saw that's coming on Disney Plus.
Yes.
So,
I believe March 4th.
yeah, Daredevil was always a favorite as well, but X-Men was like my comic book.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah.
So as far as cards, is it baseball? Is it
Baseball.
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 Okay. What's your most prized card?
I have and it's funny because I'm a Braves fan, so my David Justice rookie card.
Okay.
It's not great in value, but you don't see those out there much.
I'd rather have a picture of Hallie. That's who he was married to, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have a picture of her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good though. So you've been collecting. How many cards do you got?
Probably at 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I have 3 binders of cards.
Oh, you're really serious about it. Okay.
It's been almost 40 years that I've been collecting baseball cards.
Wow. Okay. Now you and I, we were talking the other day. I was up here and we just happened to talk about some travel. You are well traveled.
Yeah.
I want to know, what's your favorite place you've traveled to and had a cigar?
It would have to be Athens, Greece. I've gone to a lot of places and had a cigar where great places, but the cigar culture in Athens, it's you would actually go and sit at a cafe, sit down, and I always keep my bag on me.
Yeah.
When I'm out traveling with a few cigars in it, and we would sit down and smell somebody smoking a cigarette, so I'd pull out a cigar.
Yeah.
And they would run over with the cigar ashtray, so they had the appropriate ashtray, so you knew that cigars smoking was a culture.
Absolutely.
Within a 15-minute walk, there were 5 different lounges in the area. I had did some research. Whenever I go somewhere, I always do research on the lounges in the area. And we went to the Alexander Room, which is Forbes magazine rated this the best cigar lounge in a hotel in the world.
Oh, in the world.
In the world.
And what did you think?
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
It was on par with the service in Stix.
I love the service here.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that I can like order a drink and they'll come, like Jordan always comes in with the card and she brings me my drink. She pours it and just cuts my stick. You feel like you're a member.
Right. You feel special.
You feel really special. I don't feel that. I've been to so many cigar bars. I've never had the experience I have here.
Or your ashtray's not clean.
Right.
So it's one of those things where that's the thing that my wife always looks at. She's like, the ashtray's dirty.
Right.
So it's one of those things where, and again, it's not even a member. If people are off the street, you walk by, you come in, you're going to get that same treatment. So you don't have to be a member for you to be treated special.
I love that. So I know a lot of people who, come here, they're kind of new to cigars. And I remember being new and walking in that room and looking at all the different options and just being completely intimidated, not knowing what to get, what I would like, and what's the size, what's the right, do I punch it, do I do a V cut?
Right.
What would you say to someone who is getting into cigars? How should they start? What should they try first, in your opinion?
So always when you're starting, it's kind of like, I go back to drinking. You start with something a little lighter.
Right.
Something that's not too strong, because if you do something that's harsh, you're not gonna like it.
Right.
And you're gonna take that and assess it to every alcoholic beverage that you have. Oh, I tried that. I didn't like it. So it's kind of like
Goldschlager. Let me stop.
So you always want to go with something a little lighter, and then you work your way up. My wife started with little cigarillos.
Yeah.
So I gave her the little tiny things.
Yeah.
She started with flavored cigarillos, and now she's smoking full body cigars.
That's awesome.
And I never pushed it on her. You know, it was just like I let somebody else tell her, oh, we don't do flavored cigars here. We don't do perfumey stuff.
Right.
Here, try this. So that was the growth of it. And I think most people, if you sit down when you go into a cigar lounge, a good cigar lounge will have either the staff who will walk you through, or members and patrons who will be able to kind of guide you through. So anytime somebody comes in and I'm here, I like to kind of go in the humidor if I see them looking around for a while and say, hey, you need some help finding anything.
Gotcha. So when it comes to starting off with something lighter, completely get that. You know, for my wife, she likes the Drew Estates, a little sweeter options. Talk to me about like how you decide how to cut the cigar. Like this one, you said, hey, we got to do the punch on this for this reason. Right. Tell me about the different types of cuts.
So for me, I gauge it by size, potency.
Okay.
For a very strong cigar, I wouldn't punch it because, again, you're getting an intensified flavor with the punch.
Okay.
I usually do a V cut or a flat cut.
Okay.
And again, based on the size of the cigar, if it's a bigger gauge cigar, I'll V cut it or crown cut it, which is a V cut, and you do a 90-degree turn and you then V cut it again. So now you have what looks like a cross in the top of it.
Never seen that before. Yeah. I'm doing that later today.
Yeah, so
it's called a crown cut.
Crown cut.
I can see that, like just
I
see that.
You have the crown looks like Bart Simpson's hair.
Okay.
So there are several different cuts to it. You know, I actually, one of the weirdest things is a torpedo cigar. I prefer, instead of doing a flat cut, because you typically have a problem with the draw when you do a flat cut. If you do too much or if you do too little, you're having a draw issue.
Gotcha.
The cigar starts unraveling if you do too much. I like to do a V cut on those.
Makes sense.
Because you're keeping the integrity of the cigar, but you're going deep enough for the V cut.
Okay, I get that. I like the way this draws, though. I like this punch cut. Your punch cut is deep enough. It didn't damage the cigar, and I like the whole thing about turning the cigar. It's almost like when you open champagne, most people turn the cork.
Right.
You turn the bottle. Yeah, so most people don't know that.
Easier.
It is easier. Yeah, once I figured that out, I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah, you see people struggle, and you're like, here, give it to me.
Right.
You start turning the bottle, and they're like, what did you do?
Right.
It's like, no,
it's just, tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
Tricks of the trade. Okay. So I got a power round of questions for you. Favorite food?
Wow. I'm a steak guy.
Okay.
Give me a cowboy ribeye.
Ooh.
I'm in heaven.
Raw. Medium rare?
Medium rare.
Medium rare, okay.
Medium rare.
All right. Favorite dessert?
See, I'm not a sweets guy, but ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Are you like a basic vanilla guy, or you got like, for me, it's like salted caramel or coffee Oreo? What do you like?
So it's funny. I am. So it's weird. I like a lot of flavors, but a year ago I found out I was diabetic.
Okay.
I've lost 117 pounds since then.
Oh man.
So
yes.
I'm no longer diabetic, but I kind of try to stay away from stuff. But give me a butter pecan and caramel.
Butter pecan. Reminds me of my grandmother.
Yeah.
That was her favorite.
Yeah.
Her favorite. Yeah. I'm a diabetic as well, and you got to be smart about what you eat. My vice though, Reese's peanut butter cups, and I love ice cream. Ben and Jerry's everything but is my favorite from them. But I like, salted caramel, that's coffee Oreo, like that type of stuff. Yeah. All right. Favorite artist, music artist?
Michael Jackson. Hands down.
Any favorite songs by him?
So my favorite album is Off the Wall.
Off the Wall, yeah. Come on, how could it not be?
Which, I mean, everybody says Thriller, but I'm just like, Off the Wall is
the
overall better album.
Yeah.
My favorite, and again because of my wife, my favorite song is "The Lady of My Life."
Okay.
So, which you guys got it wrong by saying that's the worst album on Thriller.
Okay.
It's not. It's the best album.
Lady of My Life.
But
okay.
yeah, it's Mike's vocal range. First of all, for him to sing in a falsetto, and that wasn't even the way his voice was. Like you know, you hear from people and they're like, that wasn't Mike's voice.
Yeah.
And I just
he had a deeper voice.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
That wasn't
people don't know that.
Right.
He talked like us.
Right. It went over people's head. Like if you watch a video clip of them interviewing him for James Brown's funeral, he's spoken in a regular voice.
Okay.
So it was like one of those things on Let's Get Ready to Rumble, the video game.
Okay.
That was actually Michael Jackson. That wasn't a character. That was his voice where he's like, "You're not bad," you know. Like that's
interesting.
Him.
Okay.
He didn't want to talk in a falsetto. He was like, "Yeah, I don't want people to really know it's me."
Yeah.
That was him doing a rap on Black or White. I've seen Brights Get Color. I'm not going to spend my life being the color.
That's him.
That's him.
I got to go back and listen to that, man. I was watching the clip of him when he did the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Talk about
5 minutes of just standing.
And people going crazy. People passing out when he performs.
Yeah, when people say that I'm like, you do realize that the reason why the Super Bowl is the way it is because of him.
Yeah.
They literally, the NFL, they did bands during halftime shows. They lost in '92 to In Living Color.
I know about that.
They did halftime.
Yeah.
They did a little show during halftime, and people did not turn back to the Super Bowl, so they had Michael Jackson the next year. And
after that.
Now, my favorite song,
okay,
I have a tie. It's The Beautiful Ones, Prince.
I love Prince, man.
And
I like Gigolo's Love, Need Love, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's my jam,
yeah.
man.
The Beautiful Ones, Prince, and Beauty, Drew Hill.
Drew Hill. Walk by her every day.
Yeah.
Her and Love are the same. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's a tie with it right there. And it's funny because The Beautiful Ones, I have not watched Purple Rain past that scene where he does The Beautiful Ones. The movie's over.
Serious? You've never seen it?
I've seen it before.
But you're not really paying attention.
If I put it on now,
I'm
done with the movie. The movie's over for me.
Okay.
Because that is the crescendo for the movie for me.
Gotcha.
You know? So it's, Apollonia leaving Morris Day for Prince because he's singing to her the whole time. It's like so poignant.
Apollonia too. She passed away, right? Is she the one?
No,
Vanity passed away. Okay. So speaking of movies, favorite movie?
Batman.
Which one? Which Batman?
Batman. The Batman. Michael Keaton. My favorite Batman.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I like Michael Keaton, man. One of my favorite movies, growing up was Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom was good.
Mr. Mom's great.
He's underrated, man. Him and Woody Harrelson, those two guys.
Woody's fantastic.
I like Woody as well. Do you read? Are you a reader?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite author?
Oh, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's really.
It's always a tough one.
It's really tough because I go through phases of what I like to read.
Okay.
So again, a collector, so I have 3 bookshelves with different things that I read, and I try to read different things eclectically.
Okay.
I've even read romance novels just to kind of.
I love Danielle Steele.
Yeah.
That's my guilty pleasure, reading her books, man.
Yeah.
I feel like it helps me be a better husband and like a
right. Understanding that mindset.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things. So I'm really big on being eclectic. So it's I can go from Clancy to Zora Neale Hurst to just all around just trying. I'll pick up. See, this comes out.
Right.
We actually, me and my wife were in Virginia and went into the bookstore down Barnes and Nobles down there.
Okay.
And just looked at stuff.
Right.
But that's one of the things where I cannot definitely say.
Yeah, it can be tough.
Yeah.
I will tell you, for me, for various reasons, Stephen King. We drove when my wife and I moved to Texas. We drove from California to Austin. And that entire drive, we listened to Stephen King's book, The Talisman. It was amazing. Traveling Jack was amazing.
Yeah.
What I love about it, though, if he was sitting out there writing about us, he would write in such detail.
You could
Visualize, you could see it. And that's one thing. I love the detail when he's writing the book.
So Dead Zone.
That's all, yeah.
That's my favorite. So
Do you like the movie? Did it match up for you?
So
It's tough.
So here's the thing where Stephen King is an anomaly.
Okay.
Most of his movies he hates because they don't do it the way he would like to do it.
Okay.
He did not like The Shining.
Oh, really?
He was very unhappy with it.
I thought The Shining was great. Even the Doctor, was it Dr. Murder?
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I'm like, wow, after all these years to bring that back.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like the movies. Misery, that was good.
Yeah. Well, Pet Cemetery.
That Cemetery was good too. I didn't like the remakes, but the original.
Yeah, the original.
The
The
original.
little kid.
Yeah.
He creeped me out for years.
Come on, man. That was so creepy.
I remember listening. First I played with Jed, then I played with Mommy, now I want to play with you. Like Cat's Eye, it's Stephen King has always been one of my favorites. So, now you kind of stir me towards Stephen King being.
No, it's just for that reason. And I tell you, my wife and I still talk about The Talisman, and then the follow-up to that book was the Black Book, maybe?
Yeah, I believe so.
The Black House, or why am I drawing a blank? But the original Talisman, just like,
Yeah.
I had the Camry, we were driving, we listened to it. I had a portable cassette player that took batteries.
Wow.
And we listened to it on cassette.
With the D batteries.
The D batteries. and the tape was stopping. You had to take it out, smack it,
Yeah.
so it would keep playing. Like, I used to listen to audiobooks back on cassette. Now I do it on, I got Audible and all that, and I listen to books all the time. Are you familiar with Mel Robbins?
Yes.
I'm listening to her book right now called The Let Them Theory.
Yeah.
What a great book, man.
I gotta check it out.
You got to check that out for sure. All right, so favorite place you travel to? I know you've already talked about Athens and why you like that, but outside of Athens,
Curacao.
why?
I felt at home at Curacao. So I love traveling. Me and my wife's family is from Curacao.
Oh, okay.
So it's a funny story about that. First time I met my wife, we were in college. I go into our dorm room, and she had the Curacao flag on the wall, and I said, "Oh, Curacao," and this flag, most people don't know about Curacao.
Yeah.
Anything. She looked at me. She was like, "How do you know that?" That was the team that I rooted for in the Little League World Series of baseball for years.
Wow.
So it was kind of one of those things where she was like, "You know about the team?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So I didn't know when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I tell people my name was Hensley. They'd be like, "Oh, like the baseball player."
Right.
And I'm like, "Who's this baseball player?" Hensley Van Mulens played for the Yankees.
Okay.
He's from Curacao.
How about that?
Yeah.
Small world.
I
man.
had never met anybody by their first name Hensley until I went to Curacao.
Where did Hensley come from? Is that a family name?
My grandfather was Hensley.
Hensley.
He passed away before I was born.
Okay.
I am the first grandchild and the only grandson.
Only grandson.
Yes.
You got his name.
Yeah. So.
That's a good legacy to leave behind for you.
And he smoked cigars.
Okay.
So it was stuff that
it was in your blood, man.
Yeah,
It was in your blood.
It's funny because whenever I went to go see my grandmother, I would always make sure I didn't smell like it. And one time she had called me, hey, I need you to do something for me, and I forgot to change my shirt. I was smelling like cigars. She said, "You smell just like your grandfather."
Wow.
I was like, what?
Wow.
She was like, "You smell like cigar." And I was like, oh, wow. I didn't know he smoked cigars.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
What would it be like to be sitting here and replace me with your grandfather? Like, what's a question you would ask him if you had a chance to smoke with him and talk to him?
I don't think I would have to ask him a question.
No?
I think he would tell me everything. He was,
Yeah.
From everything that I hear about him, he was a talker.
Okay. So as we wrap up, man, I got one final question for you. We're going to do another interview, but at Rawway, I want to take you there and do an interview there. Here's my final question for you. What do you want to be remembered for? What's the legacy you want to leave behind?
Oh, that's a very difficult question.
Okay.
I enjoyed life.
Yeah.
No matter how you met me, what we're doing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything that I did.
I love that.
And did it to the fullest.
That's right.
I remember before me she asked me, what was my 5-year goal?
Okay.
And I know a lot of people, they give answers like, oh, I want to be here in my career. I want to be doing this. I want to obtain. And I told her, I want to be happy.
Love that.
No matter what it is I'm doing, I want to be happy.
That's
happy. My goal. It's not to achieve this. It's not to have this, because things come and go.
They do.
I'm not defined by my career.
Right.
By what I have.
Yeah.
But the people in my life and happiness.
And being happy.
Yeah.
And are you happy?
I am extremely happy.
I mean, listen, I believe we control the controllables, and there's so much that's going on in the world. If you turn on the news, it's easy to get depressed.
Yeah.
You control your happiness, and sometimes you got to block things. Sometimes you got to block people to protect your peace, protect your happiness. I think that's super important.
Yeah, addition by subtraction is a big thing for me. Sometimes if something is toxic to you, got to get rid of it.
Addition by subtraction. Yeah. I've cut some people out, and I got to tell you, it's hard to do, and yet I got to protect my peace. Yeah, I love that, man.
Makes you happier in the end, so.
Whatever makes you happy. I feel like my life is great. I live my life by design, and if it doesn't work for me, if it doesn't make me happy, if I don't want to do it, I don't care how much money's involved, I'm not going to do it. To me, it's protecting that peace. Cheers, man. I really appreciate the conversation, man. Get to know you. Ladies and gents, Hensley, we're going to talk some more. If you see him up in here and you're looking for a cigar and you don't know what to get, grab him. He'll give you some great advice, tell you what stick to buy, how to cut it right, how to light it right. I already got my lesson today. I was torching this $160 cigar, and he taught me how to do it right. So you will learn a lot from this man here. Hensley, thanks, man. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.